Good morning, Kenya, and I am joined by Waithaka. Waithaka is a US-based Kenyan musician who is an award-winning producer. He is a composer, and he is also a label owner. Waithaka, yes. Welcome to Good Morning, Kenya.
Thank you for having me.
You're doing well this morning?
Yes, I'm trying. Yeah.
All right, just get us into the world of Waithaka. For someone who's seeing you for the very first time, you know, who exactly is Waithaka? What would you love people to know about you that maybe I haven't mentioned in my intro?
Pretty much you've mentioned everything, but I'm a music producer based in Dallas, Texas, but I predominantly work with Kenyans, so I usually work from the US and Kenya. And I own a label, Waithaka Entertainment, and I've worked with a couple of artists, and I've been doing it now for over 20 years. Yeah.
You've been in the game for more than 20 years.
Yes.
Maybe if I just get into, you know, your world, as I mentioned, the world of Waithaka.
Yeah.
Like, what are your earliest memories of music, and when did you realize that you actually love, you know, music and would love to get into it?
Oh, my earliest memories I can think of is growing up in KU. I grew up in KU. My parents, my dad worked at KU. And so my earliest memory is just him playing music, just being exposed to the different types of music, you know, from here, from outside. And then I think the moment that I realized I wanted to do the music was when I went to the US for college, and then I was doing my prerequisite classes, and like everybody else I wanted to go into the medical field, but now start with nursing and then go through, decide whether you want to go through to do be a doctor or whatever, any other practice. And I had to do a music class, and I realized I was pursuing the wrong thing, and that's when I decided I was going to do the music thing. And switched majors, and from there I just went on and did fine arts and specialized in music technology. Yeah. And
that's what you've been doing since?
That's what I've been doing ever since.
Yeah. You know, being that you live in Dallas, that
Yes.
is in the United States, what do you feel is different in terms of the music industry? Because their industry is way above, you know, our industry. So what are we lacking? What are we maybe doing wrong? Or what do you feel should be done? Maybe if there's something the government should jump in so that we at least get our industry to a place where, you know, our artists can be people who are viewed in the society as, you know, like it can be viewed as a career, like it is in the United States.
But I do feel it's viewed as a career here. I think the biggest difference is how people benefit. In the US, because of the copyright laws and how the system is structured, we can literally make a good living out of it. And laws are enforced. As we can all see the fights, let's say even between Spotify and songwriters, and how songwriters fight and they win cases, stuff like that. There's also, the system just functions a little bit much better, and it prioritizes the owner of the intellectual property. So that protection of intellectual property is the part that I feel is very, very important, because here, I can't speak much about Kenya because I haven't lived here in over 25 years. So I go based on what I see online, and or even based on the people that I've worked with, where like we see how our music is being exploited, but there's no remuneration for our work. So those are the differences you can encounter. And then just access to information. You know, if you, let's say for instance, you have a question, you can pretty much call up the copyright, you know, the US Copyright Office, and someone can walk you through the process, stuff like that. So access to information, access to resources, you know, implementation of law, enforcement of law, based on intellectual property. I think that's one of the biggest differences. Yeah.
So if we change that, at least artists will have money in their pockets.
It could be a good start.
Yeah, it could be a good start.
It could be a very good start, and because it's it's not easy, because even in the US it's still a fight, but I feel it's easy because they started from somewhere. Yeah, and they're doing the work. And then the people involved in the industry are doing the work. They're not just waiting for the government to just, you know, come and save them. They do their part, and then they force the government to take measures, like change the laws, you know, and enforce the laws. Yeah.
When you say they do their work as creatives, what exactly do you mean?
There's a lot of lobbying societies.
Okay.
So there's groups where like musicians come together and they'll go lobby, like let's say a state senator, a US representative, because if I'm a taxpayer and this is how I earn my money and then it's not being protected, you as a US senator or the representative, you're the one that I should go to and lodge the complaint and say this is what we need, because I'm paying taxes and I feel like my taxes don't represent what I'm doing. Yeah, or I'm not benefiting from the taxes that I'm paying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So do you work solely with Kenyan artists? Because I've looked at your work and most of it you're working with Kenyan artists. And why specifically that?
No, I don't work specifically with Kenyan artists. Actually, I didn't start working with Kenyan artists until around 2012.
Okay.
Because I didn't have access. So I started out with a lot of, the first few artists that I worked with were Liberians, Ghanaians, and Congolese artist called Keisha. So with that, in the meantime, with the Kenyan artists, I was doing a lot of remixes, and it was thanks to A-Star for CTA. So he's the one who made everything accessible for me. And 2012, that's when I met the first Kenyan artist that I really worked with continuously, who's Kwame. And from then on, I was able to get access to other artists. And also I met producers like Provoke, who introduced me to artists like Wangeshi, French Boy. And the more I came back, because I left in 1999, I didn't come back until 2010. So there was a 10-year gap. So when I came back, you know, I was almost having to just readjust again, know how to access people, know who to talk to in order to be able to get access to, because the system here does run a little bit different. And when you're far removed, you can kind of like lose it. But now, you know, having known people like Provoke, I was able to access different artists. Yeah.
How would you describe your production style?
It's, I play piano, so it's pretty much influenced by that. It starts from that, but I would say it's a culmination of different things based on the music that I've consumed. So I do like a lot of, grew up with a lot of R&B music, but also at the same time, I grew up listening to a lot of music that was played on Utna, which shows my age, but Utna, you know, KBC, stuff like that. So there's a lot of South African music, a lot of Congolese music, and then I just find a way to merge it and give it my own sound. Yeah.
All right, so you have a new album that was released last month. It's pretty new.
Yes.
It's called, you'll correct me with the pronunciation, because the way you've written it, so it's either Soul Duets or Soul D Duets.
No, it's Soul Duets.
Okay, tell me about Soul Duets.
So this is the third installment of like a compilation of albums that I've done, and each kind of has a theme. So the first one was Odds by Queens, where like I got a couple of ladies together thanks to Waithaka Award-winning. She brought the likes of Sero, Mary Page, Zaituni, and I was able to create an album based on just ladies. I told them, whatever song you have, come with it, I'll create it. And then we just built a body of work where we're showcasing female talent. Yeah, and then the second one was a combination of older music that I had and new stuff that I worked with people who were in my Soul Duets albums, and others that I had been working with, like A-Rosh, Wanjine, and that one was called Black 254, which is pretty much the black stands for, the BLK stands for black, and the 254 was the zip code for Kenya. And then 1 is a zip code for the US, so it was black 2541. And then Soul Duets was just a continuation, and I wanted to do duets where I would pair up a male and a female artist. We just create something, and I wanted it to be, I was intentional, the only thing I was intentional about was the kind of music I was going to put behind it. I wanted R&B music because I'm based in the US, so I'm trying to figure out how can I penetrate into that market with Kenyan artists. Yeah.
I love that you worked with only females, you know. That's something that also Fancy Fingers did just recently. He also has this album that is an all-female feature album. Just how important is it for us to empower women, specifically in Kenya, you know, in the music scene, because it's pretty much very male-dominated? Yes.
It's important because talent is talent, and we can't limit someone's rise based on their gender. So to me, I just feel like if, at that point I just wanted to do something, because I noticed I'd been working with male artists. Apart from, let's say, Wangeshi and Nessa at that point, I had only worked with male artists. And I wanted to do something different because I realized also I had to challenge myself to be able to understand how ladies write from their perspective, how I can contribute, or just how I can help them get it out. And for me, the music part is what comes easy for me. Now the putting it together is where, like, I had to work with them, and it was a good challenge and idea, but also it was an idea pitched by a friend of mine called Kibali Moreli, who introduced me to the likes of Roche and Waithaka, because we met in 2014. I came here and we did. I volunteered to teach music at a Friends Foundation, and that's how the guy Kibali mentioned. I think you should try out an all-female album, you know, because he had access to all the different artists, and they were not getting, like, the presence wasn't there as much.
From the name Soul Duets, like, what inspired it? Okay, we get the duets, but the soul, actually the soul is written S-O-U-L, and then the D. And then there's the D. So it's what inspired it?
It's kind of like an abbreviation. So it's the music coming from the soul, and the D is sold out to either mean, you know, the music sells out, or it's very soul ingrained in what we do. And I didn't think much about it. It just felt right, and that just became the theme. And that's what determined the type of music I was going to make.
How different is it in terms of the sound that is in there compared to your previous 2 albums?
It's not a big difference. Because I am more inclined towards R&B music, which is just a preference. But I just take the R&B music and package it in a way that can be consumed in Kenya, which means, you know, either we're going to sing in Swahili, Kikuyu, or whatever language anybody wants to use. It's just how can we put it together to be part of for the audience to be able to ingest it.
There's a question I have on, I'm sure you've listened to the song Mwaki.
Yes.
By
Sophia.
Oh, that name had almost, you know, skipped my mind. By Sophia Nzau. And it is a song that went global. It has more than 100 million, I believe, streams, you know.
On Spotify.
Which is something really big for even not just a Kenyan artist, but an African artist.
Any artist,
So do you feel it's time for us as Kenyans to tap into our culture, for our songs to go global, you know? The fact that she tapped into her culture, she went with a Kikuyu vibe, and then with that kind of sound, it just sounds, you know, amazing. So is it time for us as Kenyans to tap into, you know, our cultures?
Actually, because that comes from a genuine part. You know, you can't, having lived in the US, that's when you realize or having lived outside of the country, that's when you realized I am Kenyan. Because the other person is reminding you, like, you have the accent, your mannerisms are different, but that's what makes you who you are. And if you can find a way to just package that and export it in a way like Sophia and Zhao did with Mwaki, you get to understand that our uniqueness is in who we are as a people rather than who we are trying to imitate. So we have to be comfortable, like Muzi was saying, we have to be comfortable with even our names. So that's even one of the many reasons I chose to go with Waithaka, you know. But I also have to accept the fact that name is going to be butchered a lot by different people, but I'm okay with that. Yeah, because I'll correct you every chance that I get, but I'll make sure you know that my name is Waithaka. And if we take pride in that, it will be easy for us once we put out a product and put it out there, where we can compete and defend it because we are more authentic in who we are than somebody else who's trying to do like a Kikuyu song. Like, let's say if you have a German person trying to sing a Kikuyu song or a Luo song, it's not going to be the same with Costa Ojwang singing a Luo song. Or let's say with Kwame singing a Kikuyu song, you know. But then also at the same time, it won't be easy for Costa Ojwang to sing a country song when you have an American who can do it much more easy, and be more authentic with it. So I think it's more of like, the authenticity is much more natural.
And that authenticity is what sells.
Yes.
Yeah.
But also the one thing about Kenya that's special, and I wish, well, this is just my opinion, I wish we'd embrace it more, is our diversity. So I always hear this debate, we don't have a Kenyan sound, but our Kenyan sound is our diversity. The unifying thing is the language, the common language like Swahili. So, or let's say like Kikuyu, where Sophia and Zhao puts out a song like that, and then people can identify it, even non-Kikuyu speakers. They're like, oh, I've heard that language, and I understand where it comes from.
Have you heard of urban tune? Have you listened?
Yes, and I love it.
Okay.
I love it.
Phew. So I thought I would have put you on the spot.
No,
you know, if you said no.
I try to stay up to date with what's going on.
What's your feeling of that genre of music?
We should push it more. It's a good representation of the how can I say? So to me, it's the youth. It's the music of the youth. And if you look everywhere across the globe, the music of the youth is struggle music, and they express it differently from any other type of music. The way urban tune sometimes is taken here is the way rap was taken in the US back in the 80s. You know, people are so resistant to it, but now look at it. Rap and hip hop is one of the biggest types of music. So for me, I'm a big fan of the young guys and what they're doing, be it urban tune, be it what the guys like Kinoti and was it Keith and
Oh,
what
Keith
they're
and
doing.
Now.
Keith and Now. Or let's say what A-Rosh is doing with folk fusion, Wanjini. As long as we are pushing ourselves forward, I don't have a problem with that. But for me, urban tone, I remember the first time I had Lamba Lolo, I enjoyed it because it reminded me of Genge when the first time I had Manjua Nairobi, all that stuff, you know, like it was very different and it was distinctly us, you know. It's like the way Kwaito is South African or Amapiano, when you hear it, you know, this belongs to this region. So I don't have a problem with it.
Actually, urban tone is a grandchild of Genge, because there was Genge, there was Genge tone, and then now there's urban tone. All right, so you have an event coming up. Tell us about the event. So
it's a celebration of me being in the music industry for 20 years, back in the US and here. And I just wanted to celebrate. I just wanted to celebrate and showcase all the people that I'm working with. So majority of the lineup is people that I've worked with for the last 10 years. And I just wanted to do something to celebrate with people. And I've never done a show here where which it still feels odd, but where my name is the one that's on on the headline, because I'm either always supporting somebody who I'm working with, or I'm attending somebody's show. But I just wanted to celebrate and also, you know, remind myself that I've been doing this for that long and I enjoy it.
Celebrating that milestone.
Yes.
All right, so who are some of the people that are going to be in the lineup, if you can just mention?
Oh, yeah, so we have Sero, Wanjine, Eirosh, Kwame, Waithera, Zaituni, Meryl Page, Wabi, Wanavokali are going to be doing the background vocals for the people, because I've been working with them on and off, and they were part of my, so I did, before I put out this album, I did another album with a Zimbabwean friend of mine based in Canada. His name is MJ Remoto, so we featured Wanavokali, we featured Jivu, Polaris, Pauline. So I tried to just incorporate Kenyans, you know, the Kenyan artists that I work with, with either, if I'm collaborating, let's say with someone like Keisha or MJ Remoto, just to cross, you know, over to different places. Yeah.
All right, so when is the event happening? Where is it happening? And the charges? It's
happening June 15th. It's at, oh my goodness.
Kuona Arts.
Kuona Arts, yeah. Kuona Arts Creative. And right now we're doing the advance tickets, and it's, I think it's, what, Usani, yeah. The link is at Usani. You have to excuse me, but I think it's, the range is between 1,500 to 2,500.
Okay.
Yeah, but the advance tickets are a little bit cheaper.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming to our show today. And we hope that people are going to turn up for that event, because that lineup is mad fire, you know, mad talent.
Yeah.
So thank you so much.
Thanks you for having me.
All right, that was Waithaka, and I hope that if you're a lover of live music and just good music that, you know, serves the soul, you're going to find time to attend that event that is happening on the 15th of this month at Kuona Arts Creative. Now, this is where we put a cap to Good Morning Kenya Entertainment Thursday today. My name is Vivian.